Today we're getting ready to have a bunch of friends over for game night, and as I clean up and make dinner for everyone, I thought I would chat a bit about how to build friendships. I moved a lot growing up, over 27 times, so I definitely had to figure out how to uproot and regrow those friendship roots in each new location. The first thing I learned was that you don't wait until your house is perfect. Because if you do, it won't happen. The friends that accept you and that you accept that you have a few baskets of unfolded laundry hanging around or some dirty dishes in the sink and kids' toys on the floor, those are the friends that you want, that will accept you as you are and not just on your best days. Another thing that I learned was that food doesn't have to be fancy. Work with the skills and the space that you have and the money that you have. There are some days where we have a great budget for food and other days where I'm figuring out how to feed, 10, 12 people on $3. So sometimes we all pitch in for pizza, and I've also learned that casseroles and my Instant Pot are a fabulous tool when hosting, because the cleanup winds up being a breeze, and most of the things they can be made ahead of time so you don't spend the whole visit in the kitchen. Another tip, which might be obvious, is to go where people are. Go to the gym, go to church. Work are great places to start, but board game shops are actually another hidden gem. They're another great area to meet new people. If you think of your hobbies or something you wish you could learn more about or learn how to do better, see if there's a Facebook group in your area. You could also then meet up with them, and you can see if anybody wants to meet up and talk about your hobby or do something related to your hobby. And that helps you to find others that have something in common with you, that have that mutual hobby. You can immediately relieve some of that initial awkwardness and give you something to talk about to help to break the ice. Another quick tip is don't be afraid to ask for help with food or drinks or other expenses of hosting. Most people are willing to contribute, but a lot of people do need to be asked, or they won't know you even need help. Also, deep friendships are formed by a combination of two things: time together and doing memorable activities. That combination is what tends to form all those inside jokes and a feeling of family with your friends. That's why so many form deep friendships in college, because often you are living everyday life with your friends, and you end up doing things that are interesting together, like going to Taco Bell at 2 a.m. or an impromptu road trip over the weekend. Doing those impromptu things are what forms those lasting memories, and in turn forms those deeper friendships. Another quick tip I have is forgetting people's names. That used to be one of my biggest hurdles in making friends, because I would feel so embarrassed. I would get quiet. I would let conversations die because of my embarrassment. I would want to die because of my embarrassment. So if you find you forget names easily, but you feel embarrassed asking for the name again, just know that you can do it. It won't be the end of the world. But if you do want to be sneaky, my sneaky tip to get around asking for the first name again is just to instead ask what the person's middle name is, because usually there's an interesting story to the middle name, and usually in the process of talking about that story, they will say their first name again. And then I have their first name, and I have a great story for their middle name, which in turn helps me to remember both names so that they stick in my brain so I don't forget again. Game nights are a great way to get to know people, because you're spending time talking together, but you're also doing something. So there's usually a little less awkwardness and a little less stress over trying to make small talk. Some of our favorites to play with people we don't know well yet, but that really break the ice, are Dixit. It's a word and picture game of trying to guess whose picture fits the clue. Code names. It's a word or even a picture game where you try to lead your team to guess certain words but not others in a 5x5 grid. Last Friday is really fun. It's a hidden movement game where one player becomes the killer, secretly moving around the board, trying to kill the players, but the players arm themselves and they go on the hunt for the hidden killer. Nyctophobia is one of the most unique games I've ever played, because have you ever wondered what being lost in the woods at night running from a killer would feel like? Now you get the chance to experience it through this game, and you play the whole game wearing these blackout glasses, so you don't have to figure out where to look during the game. Small World, in this game you take control of a race with an ability to conquer the world before your race goes into decline, and it's similar to Risk in some ways, but without the luck. Wingspan is another great game. It's an engine building game where you collect various birds that trigger different abilities as you try to complete your goal first. X-Men Marvel is a co-op game where you travel around the world, or travel around the city facing a villain and their henchmen. And Spirit Island is a co-op game where you take on the role of a force of nature and protect your island from pesky humans seeking to destroy the island and make cities and towns. Another great game is Pandemic. It's a co-op game where you travel the globe trying to eradicate 4 diseases that threaten to destroy humanity. Marvel Champions is where you play as your favorite Marvel hero and you battle a villain and their schemes in a fast card game. Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion is one of our favorites. It's a story-driven game where you fight off the baddies in a card combat-based game and you solve puzzles along the way. Arkham Horror, the living card game, is really fun. It allows you to join forces, and it's a co-op game that you battle your way through a narrative story. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft's stories of creatures from beyond like Cthulhu. Adventures of Robin Hood allows you to take on the role of a member of the merry band and explore a story that changes with your decisions. And Quelf, which is out of print but is one of our all-time favorites, so if you see a copy at a thrift store, snag it. It's a fantastic party game, a great way to break the ice as you answer trivia, sing, draw, or do stunts. A huge thank you to my husband who helped me to write a concise description of each of these. What are some of your favorite games or activities to do when you're trying to get to know someone new? Drop me a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from anybody who is watching these videos, and I appreciate everyone who watches. Making friends can be work at first, especially if you're an introvert or if you're shy or struggle with social anxiety or just feel socially awkward. But finding small ways to put yourself out there in a small way each day can be so rewarding. I used to have a goal when I first started college and was struggling to adapt and make all the friends and a little daunted by the sheer amount of people to get to know. I had an actual whiteboard in my room, and I made a goal to go out and meet 3 new people, just 3, every single day. I would write their name on the whiteboard and something interesting I learned about that person, and that really helped me to build a good foundation where I remembered people's names and I started to get to know people, and that helped me not feel quite as alone or socially awkward. Also, don't judge a person only based off of your first impression of them. They could be nervous too and be coming off a little odd or a little bit different than they normally would. So give people a fair shake. Definitely give more than one chance, because some of my best friendships have come out of first impressions that have been a little awkward, to say the least. Deep friendships are like any plant. They don't grow overnight, but with daily care, they can blossom into something really beautiful that will make you smile each day. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to see another video of mine, I will have them out on the screen. Thanks for watching.